Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Adam. Adam is from Michigan in the USA. So let's see what Adam has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello, how are you today?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time to do the interview with me. You have a beautiful weather behind you. I can see how beautiful it is over there.
Yes, we're having a nice day today. It rained all morning, but we haven't had rain in a few days, and I'm an avid gardener, so I quite like it when it rains.
Actually, it's been in London for the last few days. It's been very warm, but yesterday and today it's been raining. It's still warm, but it's been kind of a bit of raining for the day. Adam, before we start the game, just tell me where are you from?
Jackson, Michigan is home. I'm originally from Syracuse, New York, but I moved here a couple of years ago.
Okay, and what do you do for a living?
I'm a college equestrian coach, and I'm also a professional horse trainer.
Oh, wow. Tell me a little bit about your both professions.
So they're fairly interconnected. When I say I'm a college equestrian coach, I coach with an organization called the IHSA, Intercollegiate Horse Show Association. We have it here in the US, and it's also in a few schools in Canada. And essentially what I do as a coach is I teach different levels of riders how to ride a discipline called Western horsemanship, and reining and ranch riding. And all three of those are taken from disciplines in the industry outside of the college. The organization's about 50 some years old, and what we do is we compete against several hundred other schools in regions, and then we move to semis and nationals. So essentially the students practice a couple times a week under my guidance on horses that our college owns, and then we go to competitions as well, and they will ride a horse maybe they've never ridden before. So there's definitely a lot of challenges as a coach, teaching students how to adapt to horses they don't know maybe, or whatever, in that way. So then as a horse trainer outside of that, I mostly train American quarter horses and American paint horses for all around competition. So we go to breed shows related to those breeds, and I work with my clients and I train their horses every day for competition that way. And that we travel all over the country and sometimes to Canada as well with that. So it keeps me pretty busy. Horses are a lifestyle more than a career, but that's a passion. So
amazing! Oh wow, very interesting. And what do you like the most about your job?
Well, I like the horses. Obviously, that's the easy part for me. That's why I got into it. But I really do love connecting people with horses and helping build their relationships with horses. I also really like watching people grow through their experience with horses as well. And that's why I kind of moved a little bit away from just training horses and wanted to become more of a coach and instructor. I really enjoy watching students progress and grow as they enjoy their experience with me.
Very good, very good. Okay, Adam, so welcome to William and the Magic Box. Got here my lovely box full of wonderful questions. So I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to shake a little bit before the first question. Ready?
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, Adam, ready for the first question?
Yep, go ahead.
Let's do it. By the way, just before we start the game, if there is any question you don't have an answer for, you don't want to answer, always can change for another question, okay? It's very chilled and relaxed, right?
Okay.
Right. The first question is, what's the weirdest food combination you ever tried?
Oh, hands down. I had reindeer meatballs it was weird. Well, I know people eat reindeer, but for me it was weird. I had it at a work party several years ago, and it was for my boss at my last job, and she always likes to have a big spread at Christmas time of very exotic foods, and I had never eaten a reindeer before, let alone reindeer meatballs, so that was very interesting. I guess it really kind of tastes like venison. It doesn't taste that much different than something I've eaten before, but I guess it was just the concept of it.
But did it taste good at least?
I'm not personally a big venison fan, but I'm not going to say it tastes great, but that's just not my flavor that I like. But I think if you like venison, yeah, it would be fine. I don't know. It was a few years ago. I don't really super remember it, other than it was really spicy.
Great. Let's get another question. Let's do it. Okay, Adam, before the next question, tell me what's the best part of living in Jackson, Michigan?
Well, I like it because it's a small city. And I also am pretty close to my job. It's only about 20 minutes to get to work. And I work in the country. So it's nice to have both the country and the city without the giant traffic issues. So I really enjoy that.
I see. And did you move from New York there just because of your professional work, your life?
Yeah. Yep. I work for a college nearby here called Albion College, and that is what brought me in from Syracuse. I was working for another college there, and just a more full-time opportunity. So that's what brought me all the way to Michigan.
Very good. Next question for you is, have you ever stolen anything when you were a child, and how did it happen?
Sort of. So I have a twin brother, and we used to play all the time as kids and play with our neighbor kids. And there was this abandoned house near us, or we thought it was abandoned. It is abandoned. But it was really cool. So one day I think we were like 10, a couple of neighborhood guys and my brother and I kind of snuck into this house, but it was really overgrown and it looked dilapidated. And I remember we took some things from in there, silly things that you think are cool when you're a kid. I remember a glass doorknob specifically. I don't know why I remember that, but anyway, we brought them back to my house and showed my mom, who was of course furious, and made us take it back. And we found out that actually somebody still owned that house and nobody was living in it. It was definitely condemned. But yeah, when that was probably the one time we stole something as we were little kids. We were pretty well behaved other than that.
I think all of us, our childhood, had this kind of temptation to get something, you know what I mean? Even if you don't need it, but just this temptation that you take it. It's like a little evil around the years.
Well, especially sparkly things. I don't know. I think that always, kids always want to grab things that are shiny and sparkly. So we were, we thought we were cool and being probably on some adventure that we had made up some game and snuck into that house, and that's what we did. So
good one. Probably
wasn't very safe in there either, now that I think about it.
Great. Next question. Right. Next question for you is, where do you want to be in 10 years' time from now?
Well, I do love teaching outside of coaching. And at my last college, I was an adjunct professor. I taught equine business classes. And in 10 years, I kind of want to shift a little bit away from just coaching and be in an academic setting either as well or instead of coaching. They're kind of all interconnected. So I just like working with students of any variety, but I really enjoy the academic setting. One of my goals in life is to give access to a very diverse and large group of people to horses. And the best way to do that is to teach them, to educate them about how to take care of them, how to raise them, that sort of thing, but also how to run an effective business. So that's part of it. I also want to start working more on my professional judging cards. I do judge more what we call open shows, so they're not rated breed shows. And getting a breed card is difficult. It takes a lot of studying, a lot of time, but I would like to move to that in the next few years as well. So let's hope for where I'll be in 10 years.
Very good, very good. Next question. Let's do it, Adam. Right, tell me, when did you start your passion for horses?
Well, probably birth. I know my first toy when I was a kid was a horse, and I think my mom still has it. I don't think it has a tail anymore, ears or legs. I was little. But my family are all artists and marketers and stuff like that. They work in different industries, and I've always been the horse kid. Didn't grow up with them. I grew up in a suburb, but I don't know where that passion came from. It feels organic to me, so it's kind of like we all have our things we like. I just have always been about horses. My mom always says when I was little, we'd be driving and I would point out the window and yell, horses, horses. And so I'm sure it's just how my brain's built, I guess. But I made it a career and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, good, very good. Next question is, tell us about your first kiss and your first love.
So my first love is the partner that I'm still with. I've been with him, like the person I'm really in love with. I'm still with him. His name is also Adam. We've been together for over 10 years. So yeah, and both of us come from families where our parents have been married for a long time. So I think that just made sense for us. But he was not the first kiss. That probably was my ex-boyfriend, Matt, when I was in high school. And he was also in high school. And I think I remember it being when we were at on like a date that our parents probably didn't know about. And we were at an art park in a town near us, and we were just kind of like walking through the woods, and the art park has like all these installations in the woods, and I remember kissing him in the woods somewhere, but it's pretty vague at this point. We're still connected, we're still friends, and he's married, and then I have my longtime partner, but yeah, so that's probably the answer to those two.
And it was his first kiss as well?
I think so. I guess I've never asked him that. I could.
He's in the air now. He's in the air now. When he watched the interview, he can tell you if it was or not.
Yeah, he'll probably think that's funny. Would be my guess.
Next question, Adam. Right. Next question for you is: what makes you really angry?
I really don't like people who are dishonest with a lot of things or manipulative. Those kind of people really get under my skin. You know, I am a pretty bold person. Anybody that knows me, I'll just say what's on my mind. I don't know if that's a New Yorker thing, an Italian thing, who knows, but I'm just very outspoken. And I really can't stand it when people will talk about you behind your back and be dishonest about things. You know, because I think communication just keeps everything working better. So yeah, that really ticks me off, especially if I catch somebody like in a lie or in manipulation. That just really makes my blood boil.
Next question. Let's do it. For the next question, tell me the most challenging moments you had in your career regarding a horse, or with a student, with yourself, if you fall, anything that comes to your mind.
I've had a lot. Some I can and cannot talk about, but I think one of the most challenging moments of my career, oh God, that's a tough one. I'm trying to think of what I want to talk about and what I can't. You know, recently I lost a horse that I had kind of, in a sense, rescued. He was being sold by a sale barn, and they weren't abusing him, but you can tell this horse had not had a wonderful life in terms of specialized care. And so we brought him to the college farm, and he had a great life. And he had a freak accident and ended up hurting himself pretty badly. And so I had to kind of be involved in his passing. That was very hard. I've definitely been around horses being euthanized quite a bit in my career. It's just part of the career. But this one hit differently. I think because it was unexpected. And I think because of the nature of the accident, it was very difficult. Plus I had students in the barn. So having to stay in professional mode and navigate that, and close the barn down, it was a kind of a freak moment. And so I would say that still weighs on me here and there. You know, I took care of my mental health to get through that. But when I think of a hard moment, that was probably one of my harder ones. Luckily, I have a really good support system, so I was able to get through it well. But that was not an easy moment.
I see. Thanks for sharing.
Oh yeah.
Next question for you is: what things do you consider to be relationship deal breakers?
Well, dishonesty. I think that communication is so important. it doesn't matter what your relationship is. I think if it's a friendship, if it's a romantic relationship, if it's a relationship with your family, I think be honest as best you can. The people that you love in your life and have connection, they don't need to know everything about you. But, I think there's some things that are deal breakers in relationships. And I think it's not just with a partner. I think it's with a family member, with a friend. I also think a big deal breaker are people who take advantage of you and don't respect your boundaries and your mental health. It's okay to have a conversation and say, hey, this is a boundary, don't cross it. But if someone's consistently doing that, I think it's okay to take a step away from that person. And so those to me are kind of two big deal breakers. I think they're fairly interconnected. Outside of that, I'm pretty easygoing. I try to give most people the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes I think that's not a good thing, but I do think that inherently most people try to be good people. And so if you give them a chance to work through something with you, the relationship will be saved. But, in that instance, I think major dishonesties and I think, being deceptive, that's just not good. And so I guess that would be where I go with that.
Ooh, good answer. Next question for you, Adam. Let's do it. As you mentioned before that you have a twin brother, are you very similar, apparently, or not?
So, no, we're fraternal, but we're also Geminis. So I think we're like such textbook Geminis, and that defines our twinship a little bit too. We're very different in terms of our interests. I think we have a lot of similarities in our personalities. I do think we look like brothers. I do not think we look like twins. But we're very, very close too. So I think that's where that similarity is. It's in our unspoken bond with one another. But yeah, no, we're very different people in terms of our interests and whatnot.
And he's gay as well or not?
What? I'm sorry?
He's gay as well or not?
Well, we both identify as queer. But yes, yeah. He likes men. He has a partner as well. They've been together for a couple of years, I believe. And and my mother and father are very accepting. My mom calls herself the gaytriarch of our family. So, at first, like all parents, there was a little bit of, what is this? How do I do this? How do I process this? But now they're extreme. My dad actually takes a lot of pride in this. He's part of like a diversity committee for his work. And so he's a more quiet person, but that brings him, I think, so much pride and joy to be able to give back to my community that way. My mom is more like me. She's very boisterous and outgoing. So, she's very proud of her gay sons, I guess.
It's just two of you? I've got other siblings as well.
Nope, just the two of us. I think we broke the mold.
Next question for you is, if you could stay any age for the rest of your life, what age would you be that and why?
I mean, I like the aging process because I think it's just part of the beautiful thing in life. But I really enjoyed being 30. I just thought that was cool. Like I had a good year, and I feel like, you're old enough to feel like you're going in the right direction in your life, but you're young enough to still enjoy everything. And so I would say 30 would be that. But again, I always find like my grandmother is in her late 70s, and she travels the whole world. She's been to hundreds of countries and on all 7 continents, and she does more than I do. So I think age is relative. I know she's really cool that way. And she doesn't just like go to the cities. Like she likes to go out in the African bush and go explore Antarctica and all that. So, and that, she's much older than me, and I am always inspired by that. So right now, 30, ask me in 15 years, I might say a different answer.
We always change. That's what makes interesting as well.
Yeah.
Another question for you, Adam. Let's do it. Next question for you is, do you know anyone who is living their life to the fullest?
Oh yeah, my brother is probably one of them. He's an artist, and he's a witch and a yogi, and he just has such a joie de vivre that's so beautiful to watch. It's super inspirational. He's one of those people that just follows his heart wherever he goes. So I would say he's definitely one. My grandma's being another one. The pandemic was hard on her because she couldn't leave her box much. And now I know she's so excited to travel again. So those two people really inspire me. And then my dad. I think my dad is he's such a gentle, steady soul, and his family is his life. Like, that's what he always wanted a family. He would really take care of his family. And he does this big bike fundraiser every year on his road bike. And it's a really cool organization. It's called the Pan Mass Challenge. They've raised millions of dollars for Children's Cancer Hospital here in the United States. And my dad loves to road bike. You know, all the time he'll text us like, "Oh, I just went on a 50-mile ride." And to me, that sounds like I would drop dead after 5 miles. But he's just like so excited. It's like I'm talking to a kid all the time. And that's kind of taught me to be that way. And then I think lastly, my partner, he's the same as my dad. He's just a very steady soul, very gentle soul. And he has like such an innocent, beautiful way about looking at things. He loves to tinker with stuff and build things. And he just always seems to be pretty content with what's going on. And so those kind of people are around me. And so I say I have a good network and a really good support system. I'm a little bit more of an old soul. It's not that I'm not living life to the fullest, but I'm always I want more, what's next type person. And so all these gentle people around me kind of ground me, bring me back to earth.
You're very lucky, very, very lucky. Amazing.
I know that, and I remember that every day. I try to anyway.
Very good. Another question for you. Let's do it. You're talking about your brother. I would like to invite him as well for the magic box. It'd be amazing to have someone.
Absolutely. I would love to connect you guys. He's pretty cool. I think you would love him.
Amazing, amazing. Next question for you is, what is the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
Oh my. There's a lot. Whether it's from, my parents getting me my first car is pretty great. The reason I say that, we didn't come from a ton of money, and so I never thought that would be something in my head. And I always had to like bum rides off people, and that's fine. I was completely made peace with it. But I remember that moment, like what a big gift from them, because I knew what it took. But that's what I would say is a big physical gift. My family give me gifts all the time in a great way, like emotionally and whatnot. One of the best gifts I think my parents gave my brother and I is just their support. And not just for our queer status, but also just in everything that we do. They really taught us to be the kind of people to try not to take advantage of other people and to just work really hard to get what you want. And I think the biggest gift they gave us was to teach us how to love other people. I don't think everybody gets that. I really don't. I think that some people aren't taught those skills. And my parents taught us that you may not need a lot in life, but if you know how to love people and accept love, that's really important.
Very good. Adam, I have 3 questions left for you, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Next question. Let's do it. What's the most difficult thing have you ever done?
Oh, goodness. Okay, as of today, horses are really challenging. And one of my most difficult moments was as a coach. I was at another college in New York, and we didn't really have a very large Western program. I coach Western. Our hunter jumper, our English program was much bigger and stronger. And there's probably like 250 schools in the country that have Western IHSA teams, and we're all trying to go for that national championship. And our college, I think it'd been 15 years since we'd even won our region. And so we won our region by 1 point against a really competitive school. And then we went to semifinals, and I was just happy to be there. It was just such a feat to get there. And then we were third, which qualified us for nationals. And at that point, when we got to nationals, it was like living a dream. But I remember it took so much work and so much community effort. And I would say that's probably one of the more difficult things, rewarding, but more difficult things that I've done as a coach and as a professional.
Wow, amazing. Which year was that? When was that?
2017. And our team, there was 9 teams. We were 9th, but we were still 9th in the nation, so I felt really good about that. And one of my riders did win an individual national championship, and that was a dream come true for her. So that was so rewarding, just in that moment, to watch her, be that type of champion. It was pretty cool.
Wow, very interesting, amazing. 2 questions left. Let's do it. For the next question, in your opinion, what would be the earliest age, like for children, to start riding a horse professionally?
Well, I think that depends on your kid, or or who that family member is. Some people who come from horse families, I think it's as soon as the parents feel comfortable. I think if you don't have horses in your life, 5, 6, 7 years old, at least here in the States. I know it's different in all the countries, but as an instructor, I don't think I would feel comfortable working with somebody that's really much younger than 7. I have, but most of those students came from parents that also ride with me or have had lots of horse experience. When students are that young, they do need some parental support. So it's so much easier to deal with when it's a horse parent. I started lessons when I was 5, and there's some VHS tape somewhere floating around of me in this little yellow hoodie bouncing around. I look like I have no idea what's going on, but I have a big smile on my face. And but I think if you want to stay with it, if you want your kid to stay with it, probably 6 or 7 is just okay.
Right. Next question is, if you need to remove forever from your phone, social media, like Instagram, Facebook, all those together, or YouTube, which one would you choose?
Like all the social media or YouTube?
Yeah, all the social media, like Instagram, Facebook, all together.
Probably YouTube, just because I connect with a lot of people all over the world using my social media, and especially with the pandemic, I think I would have gone crazy without social media because it kept me so connected to my family and also my industry. I made a pretty strong choice to stay home and stay in my bubble during the whole pandemic thing. A lot of horse people were out and about and showing and whatever, so I still got to feel really connected to my community there, and still know what was going on. I also really enjoy social media, and I know there's a lot of negativity for it, but it's a tool like anything else. You can use it to cause harm, or you can use it for good reasons, and I try to use it for good reasons. I do love YouTube. I think it's cool. I do like to watch a lot of blind auditions and X Factor auditions, because I love that moment when people have that factor where their life changes. That's like my little secret midnight addiction, I guess. I've been driving my partner crazy for years because he has to listen to all this singing and whatnot. But I think I could live without it.
Okay, cool. Adam, ready for the last one?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's do it. For the next question, the last one, I would like to ask a thing. Do you, in your opinion, I believe that horses, horses, they are very a lot of positive, and they have energy, they feel our vibes, the humans. And did you have any, let's say, a moment or a situation that you kind of felt like very connected with a horse, or he gave you like a message, or passed you a message, something like that stuck to your head, like a moment of the connection you had with a horse?
It happens all the time when you're a trainer, and some people aren't spiritual and don't like to talk about that, or they don't pay attention to it, but I really have always felt really connected to most of the horses that I work with. And horses are really good communicators if you know how to do that. But I think to answer your question, in that same moment that I talked about earlier where that horse was not in a good place, I had been on the phone with the veterinarian who was trying to get there as fast as they could, and we had to administer some narcotics just to calm the horse down. And they're big animals, so when you're climbing into a stall with a situation like that, it's dangerous. And I put my hand on the horse's neck when I got in there and administered the narcotic, and it's like he just knew it was me and it was okay. And he just, before even the narcotic had a chance to work, I could just sense he was very calm, in a lot of pain, but he could just kind of tell I was there in that last few moments. So I truly do believe that any animal that we work with, day in and day out, they really are connected with you. So that's probably the closest, most recent experience, but I have them all the time. I mean, I love my horses, so.
Good, very good. Last question for you is, Ooh, what's the most dramatic argument you ever had?
Oh boy. So, oh God, in college, there was a friend of mine and I had kind of a bad spat, and we were in the barn because I went to college for horses, and she kind of like gave me attitude and started walking away, and I almost never raised my voice to that level. I mean, I'm very loud, dramatic, and whatever, but she walked away, and I just can't stand that. Like, I want to finish an argument, and it was like, I'm better than this, was her attitude. And I say to my students, I let out the demon, like the full demon. I was just very loud. And I remember she came back at me, and we just really yelled at each other for a while, and now we're fine. But I just remember looking behind her, because I could see the indoor riding arena, and everybody had stopped. It was kind of a dramatic scene, but we were both 20, so like you're dramatic at that age. I don't remember what the argument was about. I don't remember the outcome. I know we're fine now, but at that moment, I just remember that was really intense.
Very funny, very funny. Okay, it's not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the word association game, the quick thinking game. Okay, so I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Start with money.
A lot.
Love.
Family.
How about sex?
Hot.
Life.
Precious.
Family.
Love.
Politics.
Unnecessary.
Religion.
Unnecessary. Religion, I think personal.
Okay. Fear.
Scared.
Friendship.
Lucky.
Regrets.
Anger.
Desire.
Want.
Success.
Love.
Happiness.
Joy.
Wish.
I don't know. That one kind of caught me off guard. I guess peace.
Okay. And if I tell you United States of America, one word.
I guess problematic.
And
I am an American and I love America, but we got a lot going on here right now.
I think everywhere. And if I tell you horse instructor, one word.
Passion.
And the last one now, horses.
Oh, life.
Great. Okay, let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely partner, for a cup of tea. And I'm going to ask him, tell me the most beautiful thing about Adam, and tell me something that he still needs to improve on. What do you think your partner will tell me?
About me?
Yeah.
Well, I know what he'd want me to improve on, because he thinks that I'm a little bit, I act first, think second, so I think he'd want me to be a little more thoughtful. Absolutely. But I do think that he likes my vigor for life, and how I just am, not afraid to just go after what I want.
Very good. And if I would ask the same question to your twin brother, would be the same answer?
I don't know what he'd want to change about me, because we don't talk that way. But I do think that he would say my ferocity and how bold I can be would be something that he likes. I think he'd want me to be more happy. I'm a very serious person. I try not to be all the time, but I do think he would like me to be less stressed out.
Very interesting. Adam, let's play now Adam and the magic box, and you can ask me a question.
So if you could have any job other than the one you have now, what career, if it could be anything, even something fantastical, what would that be?
Right, good question actually. Right, I think I would like to do that, what I'm doing right now as a full-time job. This project I'm working right now, it's so the same passion you have for horses. When you were describing and talking about your passion, I was just putting myself in the same situation as with this project I'm working right now. So I would like to work. It it doesn't need to be, I mean, I'd like to do that as a full-time job and get this project in a bigger proportion, because I've got other projects as well based on this one. So anything connected with this project, any thing that I could connect with people around the world that I'm doing right now, and just to explore more and more their lifestyle, their point of views, their memories in life, their agreements, there's some sadness points as well, everything. So I think this profession, like a profession, if there's a name, like I don't know, communicator or interactor, I don't know, anything that I could connect with people worldwide, something that, that's what I'm doing right now. And of course, I think the most you do something, the opportunities comes as well. And when the passion is there, I think, there's no way for you to really stop go, you know what I mean? If you do something that's love. So yeah, something that's something that I'm doing right now. Well, anything like connect with people, communicating, sharing experience, so everything connected that. I think I would like to do that. And I'm on the way, I'm on the way, let's see. I feel like I'm in the right path right now.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah, no, this is a cool project. I definitely, I love the energy behind it, the connection of everybody in the world. And I think that we need more of that, and understanding that, people all over the world are more alike than we are different.
Absolutely.
Your project's doing that, absolutely.
Thanks so much. Thanks for being, first of all, thanks so much for being kind and sweet. And also, I've done already like around 400 people worldwide, and you are my first horse instructor, my first, like you see, there's always a first one. I also look your page on Facebook. I was like, oh my god, I hope he accepts my invitation. I hope it, because I'm so excited. And
horses are a lot of fun. There's probably quite a few horse trainers nearby you. You maybe just don't know that. I know England has a pretty large horse culture.
Yep. They are, for sure. They didn't come across yet, because you meant to be the first one. Right, Adam. So just before you go, if you don't mind, to share a positive message, a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
Yeah, so my mantra is "the joy is in the journey." That, I kind of pirated that from my mother. My mother is kind of one of my muses in my life to move forward with things. And so we've always shared the mantra, "the joy is in the journey." Life can be very difficult as you're building a life for yourself, but you have to always look for moments of joy, no matter how small. It doesn't mean I don't get upset and I don't get angry, but trying to recenter on joy, I think, is important. And joy is something different for everybody. But for me, joy is family, joy is kindness, joy is love. And so that's where I try to bring everything back to. Sorry, the pollen is really bad for today, so I try not to cough my brains out.
It was a pleasure. Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Enjoy your day.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
You too.
All right.
All the best. Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.